if you see this mine and this pit and realize that a treasure was found around there that caused the death of 3 people. One ruled an apparent suicide, and the other was food poisoned, and the third also apparently committed suicide. Now, the police have already investigated, and they've quite quickly said that it was murder. Pretty interesting to walk around on this abandoned plateau with the only thing there in the pit that remembers Josef Schumack being a mine company. We're currently in the little town of Bogardi, and we were just going to drive through here, but then we discovered that there is a treasure. A treasure was found here in 1980 by a Hungarian soldier, and it was worth millions. It was 14 silver plates stemming from the Roman era. And there was a lot of legal trouble about it because the certificate said it was from Lebanon, but it evidently wasn't. And the Hungarian soldier that discovered this treasure worth millions eventually turned up dead in a cellar, committed suicide, but a legal investigation revealed that he was in fact murdered together with 2 of his friends that knew about this treasure. So we're going to try and find the archaeological site, and we can't find anything. We can't find where the archaeological site is, but we're going to drive around and see if we can find where this man turned up dead in a cellar, and if we can see some remnants of the once mighty treasure. And well, if we don't find it, then this little bar where people are already drunk and drinking, and it's only 1 p.m, but it should give us enough entertainment for sure.
A hangja szólt a tücsöknek, ha Párizsban jár, mondja meg La Fontaine-úrnak, hogyha ráér, nyalja ki a lábasom. Koordináta rendszerünket így tudnám legegyszerűbben megrajzolni annak, akit érdekel, mit gondolunk, rontani vagy javítani rajtam nem lehet.
The more we read about this Sevso treasure, the more the plot thickens. So apparently it was contested by Yugoslavia and Hungary, and the documents from Lebanon were forged. But the treasure was bought back by Hungary in 2014, and the first half, and 2017 the rest. And it cost over 55 million euros, dollars rather. So we haven't found the treasure yet. We don't know where the archaeological excavation is yet, but I did want to show this. So this is a statue of József Lajos Batthyány, and he was the prime minister during the Hungarian Revolution, leading it together with Lajos Kossuth. And in 1849 rather, he was shot by imperial troops in Budapest.
Euro. Richtig? Also das erste 7 Stücke sind gekauft in 2014 und die anderen 7 in 2017 für 28 Millionen Euro
ja,
oder Dollar.
Aber das ist nicht, also wir haben nicht gekauft, wir mieten nur das, weißt du? Also das ist nicht ein Kaufpreis, sonst Mietenpreis.
Ja.
Kostet 100 Millionen Euro.
100 Millionen.
Wow.
Aber man kann ein Museum bauen von 100 Millionen Euro.
Das ist sehr kompliziert.
Ja.
Hier in der Nähe wohnt ein Mann, heißt Josef Harmer. Er hat einmal das nicht gefunden, sonst wer das gefunden hat, sagt der Josef, komm, ich zeige dir etwas. Ja, weil war grün und Oxid drauf und
ja.
Sie haben gedacht, das ist nicht Silber, sonst...
Unable, after all our efforts, to find the archaeological excavation where the supposed treasure was found and where Josef Schumack, the 24-year-old Hungarian soldier, eventually was murdered in a basement, we decided to enter the town hall and the police station and try to figure out where the archaeological site was. And we happened to run into the mayor of this town, and it turned out, after a long discussion, fortunately he spoke German and a little bit of English, that the mine, that it isn't a archaeological excavation, but it is a mine, and it is still occupied by a company with dogs and watchdogs, etc. But he gave us an official document stating that we should be allowed to enter, take photographs and see the excavation. And he also pointed out the cellar, the basement, where Josef Schumacher was murdered, and it is close by, so we'll find both those places hopefully. Right, so in the police station in Town Hall, the mayor told us that we could visit the mine, and he wrote us that letter that allowed us to get in there. But there was a mine that was still in operation, and we're currently on top of a, well, path towards a mine that seems like it hasn't been used by anything else than the company in ages. So we're going to walk up there now and, well, see what we'll find.
Ik denk dat het nog verder is.
Dat denk ik ook. And we are quite some minutes away from, well, let's just say, the civilized world. It looks like old abandoned buildings that haven't been used in ages, and I think these were the toilets decades ago when communism still ruled in Hungary and people still mined here. It's completely abandoned, and I think the spider webs are testament of the fact that these toilets haven't been used since, well, maybe since before the fall of the wall. Alright, let's carry on. One of the things that struck me as very interesting is the fact that apparently a Hungarian man told the young soldier that was eventually killed that it was tin that he had found, and it wasn't until it was sold to an antiquary in Vienna, an antiques dealer in Vienna, who sold it to a British lord, and the British lord tried to sell it to Sotheby's, and then Sotheby's realized that the papers, the documentation was forged, and that's how this curiosity came to light. And people are still, well, there's still no proof of where it really did originate. Just all these buildings are abandoned and overgrown, and it really looks like there hasn't been a living soul here in ages. We've been walking for quite some time now, and we still haven't seen anyone except for a small bus that drove by from the mine workers, and these small puddles of water are probably infected with more disease than we can imagine. But just to give you an idea of the heat, so my GoPro just overheated, and while that was happening we found this. So this is an entrance into the mine and a house that probably hasn't been manned in ages, and well, I really hope that we don't find any feral dogs or something that will come after us, because that would kind of ruin this so far interesting adventure. And let's see what's inside there, if I can enter. This doesn't feel too stable, and the entrance, fucking hell. Okay, so this doesn't look like it has been used, and I can't jump this gap. Wait, I'll try to film from the inside. I poke my GoPro through the doorway, and it's shattered glass, and the electricity is just completely destroyed in here. So I think it's safe to say that this house isn't in use anymore. Aside from the entrance of the mine, on its side, these are the labor houses where the mine workers used to live, and well, I'd say they've been abandoned for a good while now. So my biggest fear is that there's a feral dog or something in this building. Or massive rats. This is a little note. Let's see what we have. Just some calculations, nothing interesting, and well, there's nothing of value in here. But there's also no date, so I don't know when this was manned. But considering this nest on top of the light, it probably hasn't been manned in a very long while. Seems like a prison. Okay. Glass shattered, obviously. And just a massive space without anything in here. Nope. This has not been occupied for a while. And if you live in the big city, then you'd be jealous of a space like this being unoccupied. But right, enough bantering around. Let's get into the mine. On our way back from the hill, at last, I'm going to try and see if I can get into this mine, because, well, this is the mine door. It obviously hasn't been used for ages. I wonder what's behind there. See if I can open it. This seems like the lock. No, it's completely stuck. I don't think this door has been opening fucking decades by the looks of it. So no, seems like we're going to have to continue exploring without seeing what's behind the mysterious mine door. We just ran into the guard dogs and a riot police car, but fortunately for us, the dogs thought it too warm to chase us. We've found the mine, and this is supposedly where the treasure was found. And can you imagine? So the treasure was found in 1975, somewhere around here, in this large mine. And do you reckon that the 24-year-old soldier that found this treasure, and that perhaps he knew what he found, perhaps he didn't, but that the sequence of events that he put into action by that, right? It was sold to an Austrian antique seller, only to be sold to a lord of England. And then finally in the United States, the FBI got involved because I realized the certificates from Lebanon were forgeries. Pretty incredible. And also, so another thing the mayor said was the fact that it may have been found on a plateau such as this one, because eventually this treasure was discovered by illicit digging. So it wasn't completely legal what our Joseph Schumack had done in order to attain the treasure. 70 kilos of silver. I'm standing here in front of Sevso cafe, and in my broken Hungarian we were just told that, well, yes, this cafe is named after the treasure, and that was found by Joseph Schumack. And the basement where Joseph was murdered for this treasure, presumably, is owned by a man, and he doesn't like people looking around there, so I figured, well, we'll just respect that. So seems like this is going to be the closing of the video. We've also been told, and we've read, that Scotland Yard still has an open case about this treasure. So, well, unfortunately we weren't able to solve it, but neither is Scotland Yard. So, well, perhaps to be continued, and see you next time. Thanks for watching.